If you have ever posted something online, a photo, a story, a late night thought, you have already opened a door. Not a physical one, but a quiet little gateway that leads straight into your life. Most people think online stalkers are strangers in basements, bots in your DMs, creepy usernames that vanish when you block them. But the truth is, the real danger is not who watches you. It is who watches you without wanting to be seen. A blank account that views every story the second you upload it. A profile that posts pictures of you before you even take them. A follower who knows your routines, your passwords, your daughter's school bus route. A live stream of yourself sleeping, recorded at a time when you were not even home. These things do not knock on your door. They slip through your Wi-Fi, your camera roll, your quiet midnight scrolling. They study you, copy you, follow you into the parts of your life you thought were private. Tonight, we are not talking about ghosts or demons. We are talking about the things behind the screens, the things that watch you through the apps you trust, the things that know your face, your voice, your secrets, and wait for the moment you finally message back. These are 5 encounters you were never meant to read. 5 times someone or something used your own technology to get a little too close. Turn your lights off, turn your phone face down, and if you see "seen by one" on a story you did not post, do not check who it was. Story 1. The account that posted my future. I noticed the account on a Tuesday. It was not even a dramatic moment, which somehow makes it worse. No thunderstorm outside, no creepy empty hallway, just the campus library at 3 in the afternoon. Fluorescent lights humming, laptops whirring, someone coughing every 30 seconds in the quiet section. I was halfway through a paragraph about industrialization for my sociology essay when my phone buzzed. You were tagged in a photo. I glanced down, more out of habit than interest. The username meant nothing to me. At Future Frame, no profile picture, no bio, following 0 people, 9 followers. The kind of bot account I usually ignored. Except it had tagged me. I tapped the notification, and the app opened to a single post. My face filled the screen. I froze. It was a photo of me, sitting exactly where I was, at the exact same table, in the exact same position. Same hoodie, same ballpoint pen twirling between my fingers. My hair was pulled into the same half-failed bun, a piece falling across my forehead. The corner of my notebook was bent in the same place. It was like someone had snapped the photo from the end of the aisle, just over the shoulder of the philosophy section. I turned slowly in my chair, heart climbing into my throat. The library looked normal. A guy in a beanie passed behind me with a stack of books. The librarian was at the front desk, typing. A girl slept face down over an open textbook. I stared down the aisle where the camera angle seemed to come from. It was empty. No one at the far end. No one hiding behind the shelves. Silent. My skin prickled. I checked the timestamp. The post said it had gone up 2 minutes ago. That did not make sense. No one had been anywhere near me in the last 2 minutes. I would have noticed. I zoomed in on the photo. Behind me, through the library window, the sky looked a touch darker than it did now, like the sun had dipped lower. On the table, my iced coffee had no lid, even though mine was still sealed tight. It felt like looking at a near future, this afternoon, but shifted 10 minutes forward. I laughed under my breath, and it sounded thin and fake in the quiet. A weird coincidence, maybe an old photo someone dug up from who knows where. Maybe a friend messing with me. I checked the account again. No mutual followers, no clue who ran it. My thumb hovered over the 3 dots. Report. I did not press it. Not yet. It was too weird, but also strangely harmless. A prank, I decided. Or some glitch. I put the phone screen down and tried to write another sentence. The words blurred together. I kept seeing my bored face on the screen, that almost present, almost future version of me. When I finally opened my coffee and took off the lid, my pulse kicked hard. The small clunk of plastic on wood echoed the image in my head. 10 minutes later, when I stood up to go to the bathroom, I passed the end of the aisle and felt the unmistakable sensation of being watched from nowhere at all. That night, I told my roommate, Ella, about the account. She listened with her knees pulled to her chest on her bed, blue LED lights washing the dorm room in a soft glow. Her phone lay in her lap. "Show me," she said. I pulled up the account. A second post had appeared. My throat closed. It was me again. This time I was outside, walking past the science building with my backpack slung over one shoulder, the neon sign of the vending machine glowing behind me. The angle was from the top of the stairs, like someone had leaned over the railing and snapped the photo as I passed underneath. I had not been there yet. I knew because I recognized the jacket I had laid out for tomorrow, not today. Dude, Ella breathed. That is creepy as hell. Probably Photoshop, I said, but my voice did not sound convinced. She zoomed in on the background. You can see your tattoo, she murmured, and the little rip on your left sleeve. That is not some stolen stock photo. That is you. The timestamp on the new post made my stomach twist. Posted 1 minute ago, I had been in the room with her for the past hour. Ella looked at me, then at the jacket hanging from my closet door. You have not even worn that outside yet. I forced a laugh. So maybe it is some edit. People are insane. You know that. You should report it, she said. Or at least block it. I will. After I take screenshots or something, I said, in case I need to show campus security. I watched the photo for another few seconds, feeling clamped in place by my own image. I wondered, stupidly, what pose the next post would show. Me brushing my teeth, me in class, me sleeping. The idea followed me into my dreams like a shadow. The next day, I put the jacket on anyway. I should have chosen something else, but there was a stubborn part of me that refused to let some anonymous creep dictate my clothing. I told myself the whole thing was a weird edit and that I would prove it by not walking past the science building, by not matching the photo. I took a different route to every class. I cut through the quad. I took detours past the gym. I lingered in the cafeteria. Whenever I saw a staircase or a balcony, I felt eyes on the back of my neck. By late afternoon, I had not passed the science building once. The sky was heavy with clouds, the air damp with the threat of rain. I sat in the student union, fingers tight around a cup of burnt coffee, and checked my phone. At Future Frame had posted again. My stomach flipped. I tapped the notification. The photo was me, taken from behind, as I pushed open the glass door to the science building. The same jacket, the same jeans, my hair frizzed slightly from the humidity. There was a blur of motion in the reflection, as if someone had stepped out of frame at the last second. The caption was a single emoji. I had not been there, not yet. I had deliberately avoided it all day. I turned the phone to Ella, who had met me after her shift at the dining hall. Grease spots dotted her name tag. You did not go there, right? She said. No, I said. I swear. I went everywhere but there. She chewed her lip. Then these are being taken before you even do the thing, like predictions. That is not how cameras work, I snapped. The panic in my chest came out as irritation. Someone has to take the picture. Maybe they are staging you, she said softly. Or maybe they are like screens of another timeline or something. Stop, I said. She squeezed my arm. Report the account. Okay. Right now. I did. I tapped report, selected stalking or harassment, and blocked them. It felt like slamming a door that had been quietly open behind me all day. For a while, it worked. My notifications went back to normal. I scrolled through memes in my bed that night and let the soft noise of Ella's breathing lull me towards sleep. Sometime after 2 in the morning, my phone buzzed on the bedside table. I ignored it. It buzzed again, then again. A little haptic tremor, then another. Annoyed, I rolled over and grabbed it. A part of me expected it to be a group chat blowing up. It was not. I had a new follower request. The username was different, but close enough to kick my heart into overdrive. At Future Frame, with the number 4 replacing the A. No profile picture, no bio, one post. It had tagged me. I hesitated, then opened it. This time there was no slow build, no entry-level creepiness. It was not me studying or walking or opening doors. The photo hit like a car crash. I was lying on my back at the bottom of a stairwell I did not recognize. The concrete steps formed hard geometry above me, lined with a metal railing. A fluorescent light on the ceiling had exploded into a corona of glare. My body was twisted at an angle that sent a bolt of nausea through me. My left leg bent under me at a wrong angle, my arm flung outward. My eyes were open and glassy. There was blood under my head. It pooled like a dark halo. The caption said, in all caps, soon. I did not realize I was making noise until Ella shot up in her bed. What? What is it? She cried, hair sticking up. I turned the phone so she could see. Her face drained of color. Is that some sick joke? Is this photoshopped? I do not know, I whispered. The worst part was the realism. My chipped nail polish was there, the bruise on my wrist from bumping into a table 2 days ago, even the tiny loose thread on the cuff of my jacket. I am calling campus security, Ella said, already reaching for her own phone. They came, eventually. 2 officers in navy polos with radios clipped to their shoulders. They asked all the predictable questions. Whether I had an ex who hated me, whether I had given out my password, whether anyone had been bothering me in person. I showed them the account. By then, the follower count had gone up to 13. This is probably some sick prank, one officer said. We will file a report, but it is hard to trace burner accounts. They probably just lifted your photo and edited it. I wanted to believe him. I almost did, until I remembered the first 2 posts, the ones that had matched my actions after the fact, not before. Can you at least, I do not know, escort me around for a bit, I asked. I hated how small my voice sounded. We do not have the manpower to babysit, he said gently. Travel with friends, stay in public areas, be aware of your surroundings. Reach out if anything else happens. They left me with a pamphlet and the hollow feeling that I was already on a path I could not step off. The next day, I did not go to class. My professors got vague emails about a family emergency. I stayed in the dorm, curtains drawn, lights on, and scrolled through my own Instagram like it belonged to someone else. Every creak in the hallway made me jump. Every footstep outside the door sounded like someone testing the handle. By late afternoon, cabin fever warred with fear. I told myself that the stairwell in the picture looked industrial, not like anything on our campus. The walls were bare concrete with no posters. The railings were a dull silver, not the chipped blue ones in our dorm. Maybe it was a different building entirely. Let us go get food, Ella said, reading my mind. Together, we will take the elevator. No stairs. You cannot starve because some asshole is good at Photoshop. I agreed, because the alternative was stay in that room until I lost my mind. We walked the halls shoulder to shoulder, down to the elevator. When the doors dinged open, I flinched at the glimpse of the stairwell through the small window at the end of the corridor. It was not the same one. Ours had painted cinder block and a vending machine humming at the landing. In the elevator, my phone buzzed. Ella glanced at me. Do not look yet, she said, half joking. I looked. A new notification from Instagram sat at the top of my screen. At Future Frame mentioned you in their story. My vision tunneled for a second. Open it, Ella said quietly. My fingers shook as I tapped. The story was a boomerang-style clip. A door, our dorm room door, half open and half closed, rocking back and forth as if someone were gently pushing it. The view was from down the hall, zoomed in. There was no visible person holding the phone. Overlaid text read, "Come out." The timestamp said it had been posted 30 seconds ago. Ella swore. We are going to the front desk right now. We stepped out of the elevator into the lobby, hearts pounding. The front desk worker, a bored sophomore, looked up as we approached. Behind him was a bank of monitors showing the dorm security feeds in grainy black and white. Our hallway was one of them. And there, on the screen, was our door, slowly moving back and forth as if breathed on by something invisible. Who is up there? Ella snapped. There's someone on our floor messing with us. The desk worker frowned and leaned forward. There should not be. Most people are at class or out. Let me rewind the footage. He scrubbed backward 30 seconds. The door was solid, motionless. He scrubbed forward. No one approached. No one touched it. It simply began to move, a lazy swing, like a pendulum seeking equilibrium. That was when the fire alarm went off. The shriek of it sliced through my skull. Red strobes flashed. Students appeared from everywhere, groaning, complaining, stamping toward the exits. The desk worker swore, grabbed his radio, and started shepherding people out. Come on, Ella said, grabbing my arm. It is probably a drill. I dug my heels in. The stairs, I said. It is an alarm, she insisted. We cannot use the elevator, you know that. We will stick with everyone else, okay? You will not be alone. Alone. The word echoed the caption from the first post. The image of my twisted body at the bottom of some unknown stairwell surged into my mind. The crowd of students jostled behind us, impatient. The stream of bodies carried us toward the stairwell door, a current I could not fight without drawing more attention. It will be fine, Ella said, and pushed the heavy metal door open. The stairwell on the other side was not ours. The paint here was gone, eaten away or never applied. Raw concrete rose around us in gray slabs. The railing was dull silver. A fluorescent light overhead flickered, then steadied. My stomach dropped through the floor. It was the stairwell from the photo. The crowd surged against our backs, pushing us in. My knees went weak. Wait, I tried to say, but my voice vanished under the alarm and the groaning. We started down. 1 flight, 2. My heartbeat roared louder than the siren. My palm slipped on the rail. At the landing, my phone buzzed. I already knew who it was. I pulled it out with the automatic horror of someone peeling back a bandage. Future Frame had posted a new photo. I saw myself, frozen mid-step, looking down at my phone on this very landing. Ella was behind me, face turned away. Above us, at the top of the stairs, in the upper left corner of the frame, something leaned over the railing. It was a shape made of wrong angles, 2 long arms and a head tilted at an impossible degree, like a shadow that had decided to detach itself and grow teeth. Where its hands should have been, there were fingers spread wide, as if preparing to grasp. The caption said, "Now." I looked up. There was nothing at the top of the stairs. For a second, relief tried to bloom. Then my foot hit something slick on the step, something wet that had not been there a moment before. I slipped. The world went sideways. The railing slammed past my grasping hands. The impact as I hit the stairs was a thunderclap inside my bones. As I tumbled, pain exploding in bright white sparks, one last thought cut through everything. The account had not posted my future. It had made it. The last thing I saw, from an angle I did not know my neck could contort into, was the smooth, empty landing and the cold, unblinking eye of a camera lens set into the concrete. So small, I had never noticed it before, watching me fall, capturing every second, recording so it could post. Story 2, seen by one, but I am not following anyone. I always thought the creepiest part of social media was the comments. Not the strangers, they were easy enough to ignore, but the people you half knew. Old classmates, co-workers, someone who had sat behind you in high school chemistry suddenly liking a photo you posted 3 years ago, deep in your feed. That digital lurking always felt more unsettling than any anonymous troll. I was wrong. The creepiest part of social media is the viewers you do not know at all, the ones who never like or comment or speak, the ones who only watch. It started on a Thursday night. I was in my tiny 1-bedroom apartment, the kind with walls so thin you can hear your neighbors sneeze. I had just finished washing dishes and decided, for no real reason, to post a quick story. The kitchen light was terrible, so I went into the living room where the soft glow from my TV made my skin look better. I filmed a short video of my feet under a blanket, Netflix menu visible, a glass of wine on the coffee table. The classic cozy night in shot. I added a timestamp sticker, tagged the show, hit post, and tossed my phone aside. A few seconds later, curiosity made me check the viewer count. Seen by one. I tapped the list. There was one username at the top, no others. At watching still. The profile picture was the default gray silhouette. No posts, no bio, 0 followers, 0 following. Weird, but not unheard of. Maybe someone had just made an account and randomly found my story. I shrugged and went back to my show. An hour later, I posted another story, this time of my cat trying to fit into a shoebox that was clearly too small. I added a dumb caption, relatable, and hit share. Within seconds, the seen by one label appeared. Same account, at watching still. I clicked through to their profile again. Still empty. Still nothing to indicate who they were or why they were watching my otherwise unremarkable content. I blocked them. It felt satisfying, in a petty way, like swatting a fly. For the next day or so, I forgot about it. Work was a blur of customer emails and video calls. I posted a few more stories, a selfie in good light, my coffee, the train being delayed again. I did not obsessively check the viewers list. On Saturday night, I went out with my friend Maya. The bar was cramped and loud, neon beer signs buzzing in the windows. We took a few pictures together, half flattering, half chaotic. "Post one," she yelled over the music, leaning her head against mine. I want to see how disgusting we look tomorrow. I chose the least blurry one, added a song snippet, and put it on my story. "Let me see who is thirsty tonight," she laughed, grabbing my phone. Her smile faltered. Why is there only one person on here?" I frowned. That is impossible. I have like 400 followers. She tapped the viewer list. There was a single account at the top, at Still Watching. No, I said immediately. That is a different one. She raised an eyebrow. Is it though? The profile picture was the same gray silhouette. No posts, no bio, 0 followers, 0 following. The handle was almost exactly the same, just reversed. A tiny crack of dread opened in my chest. Probably someone from work being weird, I said too quickly. Or some bot, Maya scrolled. There were no other viewers, only that one. You sure your internet is working, she joked, but there was a stiffness to it. Post something else. I did. A 5-second clip of the crowded bar, our drinks clinking. I hit upload and we stared at the screen. 1 viewer, instantly. At Still Watching. Nope, Maya said. I hate that. Maybe it is a glitch, I said. Like the app is bugging out. Then why is it a new username but exactly the same vibe, she said. And why does it only ever say 1 viewer? We stared at each other over the flicker of the bar's fake candle. Block them, she said. I did. Again. For a week, nothing happened. Life resumed its usual rhythm. Work, commute, microwave dinners, the occasional half-hearted gym visit. My stories went back to getting the normal handful of views. I saw the same little circles, friends and co-workers, and that one guy from high school who watched everything but never spoke. I almost convinced myself that the whole thing had been an app glitch, or a coincidence, or some unstable little weirdo who got bored after I blocked them twice. Then, one night, I decided to do a dumb Q&A. I was bored, it was almost midnight, and my insomnia was in full swing. I posted a story with the question sticker. Ask me something, I typed. I am too awake and mildly unhinged. I watched the little seen by count climb. 3, 7, 12. No ghost accounts, no ominous usernames. The responses trickled in, half jokes, half serious questions about my job, my cat, whether pineapple belonged on pizza. I responded to a few, filming myself giving sarcastic answers. It felt nice, in a hollow kind of way, to have people engaging with me. Around 1, I finally turned the lights off and climbed into bed. The streetlight outside cast faint stripes on my ceiling through the blinds. My phone lay face up on the nightstand, screen dark. I was almost asleep when it buzzed. I rolled over and squinted at it. A DM request from @StillWatchingYou. My heart missed a beat. My mouth went dry, but my thumb accepted the request before I could stop it. Habit overriding sense. There was a photo attached. It loaded slowly, my weak Wi-Fi making the little spinning circle linger far too long. When it finally appeared, I saw my own bedroom. The angle was wrong. It was not from my own view. The photo had been taken from the corner near the ceiling, as if from the top of the wardrobe or a security camera I did not own. In the image, I lay in my bed, on my side, hair spilled onto the pillow, phone on the nightstand. It was exactly how I was positioned in that moment. The shadow on the ceiling was identical. The slight curl of the blanket near my knees. Even the way my hand lay open on the pillow. I froze, staring at the photo, then at the ceiling above me. There was nothing in the corner. No camera, no hook or mount or anything that could hold the device. Another photo came in, the same angle, a few seconds later. In this one, my eyes were open, wide, staring straight up. A tiny line of white showed where my teeth clenched. My breath left me in a harsh sound. I had not moved. I had not looked up. But the photo showed me doing exactly that. Fuck, I whispered. My body felt split in two, one part lying in bed, the other hovering above, watching. Another message. A line of text this time. Do not move. My muscles locked. Every instinct screamed at me to leap up, to turn on every light, to tear the room apart until I found whatever was taking these pictures. Instead, I stayed flat, heart pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. The typing bubble appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Another photo, same angle. This time, the blanket had been pulled halfway down my body, revealing my legs. One of my feet hung off the edge of the mattress. In reality, my blanket was still tucked under my chin. In the photo, a shape stood at the side of the bed. It was tall enough that its head nearly brushed that corner of the ceiling. Its face was wrong, blurred somehow, as if the camera could not focus on it, but its eyes were unmistakable, two pale circles reflecting the phone's tiny light. It leaned over my sleeping form, its hand, too long and too thin, resting inches from my throat. A low whine escaped my mouth. I did not feel anything near me. No displacement of air, no weight on the mattress. My room was silent, except for my own ragged breathing and the faint hum of the fridge in the kitchenette. Another text bubble appeared. Turn around. I stared at the words, then at the wall opposite me. My back prickled. The fine hairs on my arms stood up. I typed back, fingers shaking so hard I hit backspace 3 times. Who are you? The response came immediately. Another image, this time not a photo, but a screenshot of my story from earlier that night. The Q&A sticker sat in the middle of the screen. From some angle I could not identify, a shadow stretched across it, long and thin, like fingers reaching. Attached to the screenshot was text. You invited me, you asked. I have been watching. My throat closed. I remembered the exact wording of my story. I am too awake and mildly unhinged. Ask me something. It sounded childish now, like a dare spoken in front of a bathroom mirror. I hit the call button on my phone and dialed 911 with clumsy fingers. As it rang, another photo rolled in. The angle was closer now, like the thing had leaned down right over my face. The camera had captured my expression mid-scream, mouth open, veins raised in my neck. Behind me, in the image, the room was wrong. The walls were darker, the corners deeper, as if the light could not quite penetrate. I whispered to the operator, trying to sound calm, giving my address, explaining that someone was in my apartment. She told me officers were on the way, told me to stay on the line, told me to get somewhere safe if I could do it without alerting the intruder. Another text appeared. They cannot see me. They never can. I slid quietly out of bed, ignoring the command not to move. My legs felt like water. My phone stayed pressed to my ear. The operator, a small, distant presence, as I crept toward the door. Every shadow in the room seemed to lean toward me. Another message. Do not leave. The doorknob was cold in my hand. A fresh story notification popped up at the top of my screen. At Still Watching, you posted to their story. I tapped it without meaning to, a reflex born of too many idle hours. It was a video, shot in darkness, grainy. For a moment, I saw nothing. Then a shape resolved, a pale rectangle. My door. I watched myself in the tiny frame, seen from behind, reaching for the knob. Something loomed in the upper corner of the screen, a darker patch in the dark, stretching down toward my shoulders. The perspective was impossibly high, as if the camera floated near the ceiling. The video ended abruptly, as my real hand yanked the door open. The hallway beyond was empty, bright, ordinary. I ran. I did not look back, not even when I heard my phone buzz again with another photo, another message, another story. The police arrived. They searched my apartment, top to bottom. No forced entry, no hiding intruder. The windows were locked. No holes in the walls, no hidden cameras. I showed them the account, the photos, the messages. They frowned, exchanged looks, suggested that perhaps someone had access to my phone or to my cloud, that maybe the images were mocked up in some app. Can you trace this account? I asked. We can file a report, one of them said. But these things are often routed through multiple servers, spoofed IPs. It is tough. They left me with advice about online safety and a slip of paper with a case number. Maya begged me to stay at her place for a few nights. I did. Her apartment smelled like incense and old books. I slept on her couch and tried not to check my phone every 5 seconds. Eventually, curiosity won. I opened the app. The account at Still Watching, you, was gone. Either deleted or blocked by the platform. I did not know. My DMs were still there, though. The photos, the texts. I scrolled to the first one, the picture of my bedroom from above. At the top of the screen, under my own username, I saw the phrase that had once felt harmless, seen by one. Except this time, there was no username under it. Just a single icon, a gray silhouette, with no handle attached. When I tapped it, nothing happened. No profile, no page, no error message. It felt less like a user and more like a placeholder, as if something had peeked in from just outside the system's ability to label it. I stopped posting stories after that. Sometimes, late at night, when sleep refuses to come, I hover over the Add to Story button. The urge to share, to be seen, is a stubborn itch in the human brain. Then I remember the photos of myself that I never posed for. The shadows that were not mine. The way it felt to realize that the act of posting is also the act of inviting a small open door at the top of your screen. and I put the phone face down, heart pounding, and lie awake in the dark, wondering if somewhere, something is still watching, waiting for me to press share again, so it can be seen by one. Story 3, seen by one, and I was not even online. People always talk about digital footprints like they are something you leave behind. What no one mentions is how it feels when you start seeing footprints that you never remember making. I used to live stream a lot. Nothing huge, nothing glamorous, just late night chats from my bedroom, cheap LED lights, and a glitchy ring light that buzzed sometimes when it overheated. I worked a boring office job by day, and at night I would prop my phone against a stack of books, hit go live, and talk to whoever showed up. Sometimes it was 20 people, sometimes it was 5, sometimes it was just one loyal viewer who never spoke but always stayed until I ended the stream. The usernames blurred together, except for a few regulars. And then, one night, a new name appeared. At only here for you. No profile picture, just a black circle. No bio. When I tapped their profile after the stream, it said 0 posts, 0 followers, 0 following. They joined halfway through a live where I was ranting about office politics and my broken coffee machine. The chat was quiet that night, just a couple of hearts popping up and one person asking what mic I used. Then I noticed that only here for you had joined. Immediately, a little notification floated across the screen. At only here for you is watching. Nothing strange. People joined all the time. What caught my attention was that my viewer count was at 9 when they joined. As soon as their name slid into view, the counter jumped down to 1. At first, I thought it was a glitch. I laughed it off, joked to the invisible room that I must be boring everyone to death. Guess it is just you and me now, I said, because that was the kind of thing you said on live to fill dead air. The number stayed at 1. The chat stayed empty. All right, mystery viewer, I went on, trying not to sound uneasy. If this is you, Mark, making a new account to troll again, I swear to God I am blocking you so fast. No response. Not even a single emoji. I rambled for another 15 minutes, talking more to myself than to the phone. When I ended the stream, the app showed the usual summary. 1 top viewer, at only here for you. I clicked on the username, private profile, still no posts, still 0 followers. Something about it felt like a blank mask, a face where the features had been erased. I blocked them, shrugged, went to bed. If it had ended there, I would have forgotten about it. Just another weird account in an ocean of weird accounts. It did not end there. The next night, I was too tired to stream. Work had been a mess, my boss had snapped at me in front of everyone, and my eyes burned from staring at spreadsheets. I microwaved leftover pasta, ate it standing over the sink, and fell asleep on the couch at 9. At around 11:30, my phone buzzed. Then again. I fumbled for it, squinting at the screen. My notifications were full of messages. Why did you end live so fast? Was that a bit or something? Are you okay? That was creepy as hell. I sat up slowly. My fingers felt thick and clumsy as I opened the app. At the top of the screen there was a banner. Your live video has ended. Save replay. I stared at it. I had not gone live. I hit view insights with a numb thumb. Viewers 67, peak concurrent 43, top viewer at only here for you. A cold prickle crawled up my spine. I went to my DMs. My friend Sam, who watched most of my streams, had sent 5 messages. Bro, answer your phone. That was not funny. If this is a stunt, it sucked. Call me right now. I called him. He picked up on the first ring. Dude, what the hell was that? What are you talking about? I said. The live, he snapped. You went on, just staring at the camera like some creepypasta mannequin. You did not say anything for like 10 minutes. Then you started laughing, but it did not look like you were actually laughing, and the sound was messed up, like it was out of sync. Then the video went all pixelated, and it ended. I walked to my bathroom mirror without really deciding to. My reflection looked normal, sleepy, and pale. I was asleep, I said. I did not stream tonight. There was a silence on the line. I could hear him breathing. I watched you, he said slowly. Unless someone stole your face. I went back to the app and hit save replay before it disappeared. The video downloaded. I opened it, heart pounding. The replay started in my bedroom, the same angle I always used. Phone perched on my bookshelf facing my bed. The LEDs were off, the room lit only by the orange glow of the street lamp that filtered through the blinds. I sat in the chair by the window, directly facing the camera, except I did not remember sitting there. I watched myself on the screen. My hair hung loose around my face. My eyes were slightly unfocused, fixed on the lens. I did not blink, not once. The viewer count hovered in the corner, slowly inching upward as people joined. The chat replay scrolled up. Yo, you good? Why are you so quiet? Is this performance art? Or... I did not respond in the video. I just stared. After about 4 minutes, my lips parted. The audio crackled. A faint sound came out, like someone laughing 3 rooms away, filtered through a fan. My shoulders shook slightly, but my face stayed completely still. The effect was wrong, like when poorly dubbed movies do not match the actors' mouths. I watched myself tilt my head, just a fraction. The movement was jerky, unnatural, as if someone had dragged a slider in an editing program. The laughter on the audio did not change, steady and distant. The comments became increasingly alarmed. Why does your laugh sound like that? Okay, I am actually uncomfortable. Say something if you are actually there. My on-screen self stopped shaking, went perfectly still, then leaned forward until my face filled almost the whole frame. The whites of my eyes looked too bright. The video glitched. For a split second, my face smeared into digital static, then snapped back. I watched as my lips finally moved in sync with the audio. Seen you, I, or it, whispered. The voice on the replay was mine, but stretched out, pitched a little lower. Watching you, it went on. Always watching, even when you are not here. The last thing the live showed was my hand reaching forward. The screen pixelated, the image broke apart into blocks, and the stream ended. In the reflection on my phone screen, my real face looked nothing like the one in the video. I was shaking, one hand pressed hard against my chest as if I could hold my heart in place. On the Insights page, one name sat at the top, at only here for you. I blocked it again, even though I had already done that. This time, the app returned a strange error message for a second, then cleared. The account no longer showed up when I searched. I told myself it was a hack. Someone had gotten into my account, streamed something weird as a joke, logged out. Maybe a coworker who had seen me go live at my desk once, or some script kiddie. The alternative was too much. I changed my password, turned on 2-factor authentication, revoked access from every linked device, then I deleted the app. For 3 days, I did not touch social media. No stories, no scrolling, no endless thumb flicking under the covers at night. It was like quitting caffeine. I kept reaching for my phone without thinking, and then putting it back when I realized what I was doing. On the 4th night, my phone buzzed while I was brushing my teeth. I spat into the sink, wiped my mouth, and checked it. New email. Subject line: new login to your account. The body of the email said there had been a login from a new device. Location: unknown. Time: 11:48 p.m. If this was you, no action is needed. If this was not you, secure your account. I had not logged in. I was standing in my bathroom, toothbrush still in hand, foam on my tongue. The email included a link to see active sessions. My hand shook as I tapped it. There were 2 sessions listed. 1, my phone. 2, some generic label, no device type, no IP I recognized, location listed as null. I hit log out of all sessions. My phone screen flickered. For a second it went black. When it came back on, my lock screen wallpaper had changed. I had set it to a photo of my cat months ago. Now it was a grainy screenshot of my own replay, the frame where I was leaning forward, eyes wide and too bright. I dropped the phone. It hit the tile with a sharp crack. The screen did not break. The image of my face stared up from the floor, slightly distorted by the curve of the glass. A small banner rolled down from the top of the screen. Incoming call. At only here for you. I did not know that was possible. Social media handles were not supposed to show up like phone contacts. The ringtone was not my usual tone either. It was the weird, distant laugh sound from the replay, looping on itself. My body moved before my brain did. I scooped the phone up, slammed my thumb against decline. It stopped ringing for a moment. Then the banner popped up again. Incoming call. At only here for you. I turned the phone off, or I tried to. Holding the power button did nothing. The screen stayed lit, the calling banner pulsing every few seconds. I ripped the back case off, fingernails scraping plastic, and yanked the SIM card out. Then I held the power and volume buttons together until the screen finally died. The silence in the bathroom rang in my ears. I put the dead phone on the counter like it might explode. The next morning, I took it to the phone store. The clerk, a kid with purple hair and piercings, plugged it into a charger and turned it on like it was nothing. "It is fine," they said after scrolling around for a bit. "No water damage, no visible malware. You probably got phished or something. You should wipe it, start clean. New account, new email. You know the drill." I nodded. My skin felt like it did not fit right. I went home with a factory reset phone and no social media apps installed. At first, it was almost peaceful. No notifications, no buzzing, no little red circles begging for attention. Work got slightly easier. I read a book for the first time in months without checking my phone every chapter. Then the dreams started. In them, I was always sitting in my bedroom chair, facing some invisible audience. A bright ring of white light burned at the edge of my vision. I could never see past it. I would open my mouth to speak, and no sound came out. Instead, I heard my phone's notification sound, over and over, like a heartbeat. Sometimes, in the dream, a chat window would appear in the air, messages floating up. "Say something. Why do you look like that? Why is your face wrong?" And always, at the top of the list, a single username, at only here for you. I would wake up with my throat raw, as if I had been screaming. I made it almost 2 weeks without logging back into anything. Then my boss announced a company-wide social media campaign, complete with mandatory participation. We were supposed to share a branded post, tag the company, and comment on the main account to boost engagement. He phrased it like an exciting opportunity. It felt like a sentence. I reinstalled the app on my lunch break, sitting alone in the break room. My hands felt numb as I logged in with my new email. The account opened to my empty feed. I had not followed anyone yet. No posts, no notifications. For a moment, nothing happened. Then a small red circle appeared at the top of the screen. One new follower. I did not want to tap it. I did anyway. There was one account listed. No profile picture, no bio, 0 posts. Username, @HereForYou only. I stared at it until the letters blurred. The office around me hummed on, oblivious. As I watched, a tiny green dot appeared next to the handle. Online. A DM notification slid down from the top of the screen. I opened it. There was only one message. No words. Just a screenshot. It was a screen recording of my phone's interface from earlier that day, before I had reinstalled the app. In the video, I was in my photos, scrolling past pictures of my family, my cat, and screenshots. My finger stopped on a picture of me sitting in my bedroom chair, mid-laugh, ring light haloing my hair. In the recording, the camera icon in the corner turned red on its own. The words "Go Live" appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again, pulsing. Underneath, in red, a single viewer count. Live, with one watching. The final frame of the video showed a gray text at the top. Your live was not saved. Your audience has already seen it. My stomach turned. No matter what I did, it felt like I was always on. No app needed, no camera required. Some part of me was being watched from somewhere I could not see. Streams starting and ending around the edges of my awareness. I closed the app and never went live again. Sometimes, late at night, my phone screen lights up on its own, even when I have set it face down. When I pick it up, there is no notification, no missed call, just my own reflection in the black, faintly illuminated, staring back. If I leave it long enough, though, sometimes a tiny line of text fades in at the top just for a second. Seen by one, then it disappears, as if whatever is on the other side has leaned back into the dark, satisfied. Story 4. My doppelganger went viral before I did. I always wanted to blow up online. Nothing huge at first, just enough to quit my job and tell my boss to shove his Team Synergy PowerPoints somewhere the sun does not shine. I loved making videos, stupid sketches filmed in my bedroom, commentary on whatever was trending, the occasional horror story with dramatic lighting. My account hovered around 8,000 followers for over a year. Not bad, not impressive, purgatory. My videos did modest numbers, a few thousand views on a good day. So when my roommate, Theo, burst into my room one afternoon yelling, "Dude, you are famous," my first thought was that he was joking. He was waving his phone at me like a victory flag. "What are you talking about?" I said, pausing my edit. The half-finished video on my laptop screen froze on an unflattering frame of my face. "You made a new account and did not tell me," he demanded. "I did not make anything," I said. "Stop being annoying." He rolled his eyes and thrust the phone into my hand. I stared at the screen. A TikTok profile page glowed back at me. The username was not quite mine, but close enough to make my stomach lurch. At Real Tyler. The profile picture was my face, lit by the soft teal hue of my LED lights. The bio read, "No filter, all truth," which sounded like something I would have written in high school. The follower count, however, was not something I had ever seen next to my face. 187K. I scrolled down. The grid was full of my bedroom. My wall posters, my thrifted lamp, the cheap ring light on its crooked tripod, and me. Me, wearing clothes I owned, but had never filmed in. Me, at angles I had never set my camera to. Me, saying things I did not remember saying. "Oh my God," I whispered. "Is this some compilation?" Theo shook his head. "They are new, man. Look at the dates." The top video had been posted 3 days ago. It had 2.3 million views. I tapped it. The video began with a close-up of my face. The lighting was perfect, the shadows soft, my skin smooth. My eyes looked a little too bright. "Confession time," I said in the clip, in a voice that was definitely mine and somehow not. "Have you ever felt like someone else was living your life better than you?" The camera pulled back slightly as I leaned against my desk, hands in the pockets of my hoodie. My movements were smooth, confident. I watched myself with the surreal feeling of hearing a recording of my own voice. "Well, video," me continued, smirking. "I fixed it." The comments flew up the side of the screen, thousands of them. "Bro is so underrated. How is this the first time I am seeing him? New comfort creator unlocked. Is it just me, or does he not blink? Like at all? Something about his eyes freaks me out, but I cannot stop watching." I scrubbed forward. The video shifted into a story about feeling like a background character, about waking up one day and deciding to make the main character version of yourself get out of bed instead. If I had written it, I would have been proud of the script. I had not written it. I closed the video with a shaking thumb and opened another. This one showed me, or him, sitting on my bed, hoodie off, a t-shirt I did not remember owning stretched over my chest. He was talking about fear, about intrusive thoughts, about hearing noises in the hallway at night and imagining something standing just out of sight. As he spoke, the camera slowly zoomed in, almost imperceptibly at first. By the end, his eyes filled most of the frame. The last line made my skin crawl. "Sometimes the scariest thing," he said calmly, "is realizing you are the intruder." The video cut off mid-word, as if something had switched it off mid-sentence. The comments were half praise, half unease. "Nah, this is actually unsettling, WTF. His vibe feels like a horror movie disguised as self-help. Is no one else noticing the background changing a little in every video?" I looked closer at the frame. My brain had been glossing over the details, filling them in with what I knew my room looked like. Now, I forced myself to inspect it. The posters on the wall were not quite the same. The bands were close, but the album art was slightly distorted, the colors off. The thrifted lamp's base curved at a wrong angle, too sharp to be functional. The ring light was oval instead of circular, like I was looking at a set someone had built from memory, not the real thing. "Tell me this is some deep fake collab," I said, voice thin. Theo scratched the back of his neck. "I thought that at first, but I checked all the tags. There is nothing. He is not following anyone. No linked accounts. People keep asking his @ in the comments. He never answers." He opened the About section. There was an email for business inquiries. It was mine. My real email. I felt like I was standing in a house that looked like mine, only to notice the seams in the walls. I went to the search bar and typed my own username. My real account appeared, with its sad 8,000 followers and modest grid. The profile picture, a selfie I had taken 6 months ago, looked flat next to the viral version of me. My comments were full of people asking if I had made a side account, if I had seen my own content, if this was some kind of ARG. I opened my DMs. A flood of messages. "Love your new videos on the other account, but low-key prefer you here. You seem more normal. Is this like your shadow self? Dude, if this is marketing for a horror short, it is genius. Be careful. Something about him feels wrong." I typed a generic response to a few of them, insisting that I had no idea who was behind the other account. that it was not me, that I was trying to get it taken down. Then I emailed the platform with links, explanations, screenshots, impersonation. I wrote, "Someone is using my face, my room, my voice." The auto reply came back within seconds. "We have received your report. Our team will review and respond if any action is taken. No timeline, no guarantee." For the rest of the day, I tried to distract myself. I edited my half-finished video, but my own face on the screen felt uncanny now, like a dollar store version of whatever the other account was doing. That night, I refreshed the fake account again. The follower count had jumped to 230K. A new video sat at the top of the grid. My heart thudded against my ribs as I tapped it. The video opened in darkness. At first, I thought it was just black screen. Then a faint outline of my room emerged. My bed, barely visible. My desk, the window. The only light seemed to come from the phone screen itself, casting a weak glow on my features. I was lying on my side in bed, eyes closed, breathing slow. Watching myself sleep from outside my body made me nauseous. The camera did not move. There was no clever hook at the start, no transition, no music. Just the sound of my breathing, and, faintly, something else. A second sound, layered under mine, out of sync. A whisper of inhaling and exhaling that did not line up. The comments flew. "What kind of ASMR is this? This is just him sleeping. Why am I so freaked out? Pause at 0:13. Trust me, I scrubbed at 13 seconds and paused." In the darkness, in the far right corner of the room, two small points of reflected light stared back at the camera. Not from me, from something else. Something that was not quite outlined, like a shadow with weight. My scalp tingled. I checked the timestamp. The video had been posted 40 minutes ago. Theo had been home that whole time. I had been in the living room with him, watching a movie. I did not remember sleeping. My phone buzzed. A DM from an unknown account, at real.tyler, sent you a message. My mouth went dry. I opened it. It was a single sentence. "You look better from this angle." Attached was a photo. My bedroom. My actual bedroom, not the slightly off version in the videos. I recognized the specific rip in my poster, the way my hoodie hung off the back of the chair, the empty water bottle under the bed. The perspective was from my ceiling, looking straight down at my pillow. Right now, my bed was empty. I was on the couch. In the photo, someone lay on the bed. Not quite me. The features were mine, but a little too sharp, the grin a little too wide, the eyes open and staring straight up, as if at the camera. My vision blurred around the edges. I walked to my bedroom door without even telling Theo. My hand was slick on the knob. The room on the other side was exactly as I had left it that morning. The bed unmade, the hoodie on the chair, the blinds half drawn, no one in the bed. I looked up. Nothing on the ceiling. No camera, no hole, no device taped there, not even a smoke detector. My phone buzzed again, typing. Then the 3 dots vanished. I backed out of the room slowly and shut the door. I told Theo everything. Showed him the DMs, the video, the photo. He was pale by the end. "We call someone," he said. "The police, the platform, a priest, I do not know." The police were polite and skeptical. They suggested it might be an elaborate deepfake, some obsessed fan making content. They took my statement and left with vague promises to look into it. The platform responded the next day. "After reviewing the account at Real Tyler, we have determined that it does not violate our community guidelines. No impersonation, no problem. In their eyes, we were separate people." The account posted again that evening. This time, the video was a fake behind the scenes. My doppelganger giving a tour of his setup. "People keep asking if this is a set," he said, smiling. "I promise you, this is just where I live. Kinda boring, right?" The camera panned around the room. Bed, desk, lamp, window. Everything looked normal. Until the lens passed over the mirror. For a split second, the reflection did not match the rest. The room in the mirror looked darker, like someone had turned down the saturation. The bed was bare of sheets. The window showed not my familiar cityscape, but a flat, gray expanse. And there, where my doppelganger should have been standing, something tall and thin loomed instead, its edges fuzzed, like it existed just to the left of reality. I paused the frame and took a screenshot, sent it to Theo with shaking fingers, even though he was in the next room. He responded with one word: move. We tried. Over the next week, we checked out apartments, called landlords, contemplated sleeping in his car. Every time we got close to leaving, something went wrong. His car would not start. The listing would suddenly be no longer available. A pipe burst in the building we had loved. A landlord called back to say there had been an application error. It felt like pushing against strong wind. Online, the other account only grew. Brand deals started appearing in his videos. Sponsored products on the nightstand, promo codes in the captions. People stitched him, duetted him, used his audio. My own account became a joke in comparison. The cringe original version next to the perfected copy. I stopped posting. Everything I filmed felt like a weaker echo of something he had already done. One night, unable to sleep, I made the mistake of checking his page again. A new live video badge glowed at the top. I told myself not to click it. I clicked. The stream opened to my bedroom. My real bedroom. I recognized a sock I had kicked into the corner that morning. He was sitting on my bed, back against the wall, one knee up. He wore my hoodie. My hoodie, because there was a stain on the cuff I recognized from spilling ramen. Hey, he said, smiling at the camera. Decided to do something different tonight. The comments poured in. Hearts and emojis and jokes. Room tour finally. Man lives in a liminal space, I swear. Why does that door look so wrong? I want to show you something, he went on. People keep asking where I came from, and I think it is time I answer. He stood up. The camera followed him without visible movement, as if on an invisible track. He walked to my bedroom door. On my screen, in my hand, I watched him grip the knob. On the other side of the actual door in my apartment, only a few feet away, I heard nothing. Behind this door, he said, is where he lives. My stomach dropped. He yanked the door open on the stream. Instead of my hallway, the doorway showed my bedroom again. Not a mirror, a repetition. The same bed, same lamp, same window, seen from a slightly different angle. No matter where I go, he said cheerfully, I just end up back here. It is almost like somebody made this place for me. He stepped through the doorway. The camera followed. They reappeared in the same room, from the previous angle. My head spun. Commenters were losing their minds. What editing app is this? This is insane. ARG confirmed. Bro stuck in a content creator hell dimension. He walked to the door again, opened it, my room again. If I kept going, he said, we would loop forever. Rooms and rooms and rooms that look almost the same, but a little more wrong each time. He stood in the doorway now, half in shadow. Luckily, he added, I found a way out. He looked straight at the camera, at me. Sometimes, he said softly, you just need to switch places with someone who wanted this life before you did. The stream glitched. For a second, his face blurred. The app froze on my phone, the live stream indicator still pulsing. I could not close it. I could not lock the screen. In the video, he stepped fully into the threshold and then disappeared, as if someone had cut the frame. The camera swung around wildly. The bed was empty. The room looked slightly different. My posters, not the warped ones. My lamp, my ring light. My heart hammered against my ribs. Behind me, in the hallway, I heard a soft creak. Not in the stream, in my apartment. Slowly, the live camera turned toward the screen, as if someone were lifting the phone. The view zoomed in on the door. My door. From the inside, I heard footsteps coming down the hall behind me. Not Theo's heavy, familiar tread. Something lighter, yet deliberate. On the stream, the door began to open. In my apartment, the knob turned under my hand before I could react. The last thing I saw on my phone screen before it went black was my own face, leaning in from the doorway on the other side. His smile did not reach his eyes. He looked at me like someone seeing a hotel room they had just booked. Finally, he said. The screen died. When it came back on, the app had logged me out. My password did not work. My email said it did not recognize my account. Theo rushed out of his room. What happened, I heard. He trailed off. He stared at me with a strange expression, like he was trying to solve a puzzle. Say something, he said. I opened my mouth. The words came easily, without the usual hesitation. Relax, I said, smiling a little. It was just a glitch. My voice sounded perfect, confident, like it belonged on a viral video. Inside, buried under something heavy, something that had my shape and my memories, I screamed. No one heard it, but I am sure, somewhere, my audience did. Story 5, private account, public nightmare. If motherhood taught me anything, it is that fear changes shape. Before my daughter, Lily, was born, I was scared of car crashes, cancer, worst-case scenarios that belong mostly to adults. Once she arrived, every corner of the world turned into a threat. The edge of the coffee table was a danger, the stairs a looming cliff, the internet a bottomless pit. So I did what every good modern parent does: monitored screen time, set up content filters, kept my own social media private, no public photos of her, no tagged locations, no school logos visible in the background. My account was a locked little box, mostly for family updates. If you wanted to see pictures of Lily, you had to know me personally, or so I thought. It was a Tuesday afternoon in late October when the first request came in. I was in the school pickup line, the same slow crawl of SUVs and minivans that turned the street into a metal centipede every weekday. My phone buzzed with a notification. I glanced at it between glances at the crossing guard. New follow request. @Sunny Daily Moments. The profile icon was one of those generic pastel illustrations of a woman holding a baby. The handle was innocuous. I had 3 mutual followers with them, other moms from town. I tapped their profile. Most of the grid was stock-looking pictures, flat-lay coffee shots, sun flare through curtains, carefully staged toddler hands holding wooden toys. The captions were full of hashtags. #grateful, #momlife, #slow morning. Their account was public, which made it easy to scroll. No pictures of me or Lily, no local landmarks I recognized. The bio read, just a mama sharing the little moments. If it had not been for what happened later, I would have hit accept without thinking. Instead, habit made me cautious. I left them in the request queue and put the phone down as the line finally lurched forward. Lily climbed into the back seat a few minutes later, backpack nearly as big as she was. Her hair escaped her braids in fine wisps, her cheeks flushed from playing. "Guess what?" she said as soon as she buckled. "We saw a squirrel eating a donut in the playground, and Mrs. Klein said that is not healthy for squirrels." I smiled, adjusted the mirror so I could see her. "Did you eat your vegetables at lunch?" She made a face. "Mom." We drove home, the ordinary kind of afternoon that smooths over the weird edges of the day. Homework, snack, her cartoon humming in the background while I answered emails. I forgot about the follow request. Around dinner time, my sister called to ask if I had seen the photo she tagged me in. I opened the app, checked my notifications, and saw her post of her dog in a Halloween costume. Beneath that, another notification waited. @Sunny Daily Moments requested to follow you. Again, I frowned. Maybe I had imagined seeing it earlier. My thumb might have swiped it away. I looked at their profile again. Same aesthetic, same generic mom branding. Still 3 mutuals. This time, I hit accept. It felt almost rude not to. Maybe she was a new mom trying to build a little community. 2 minutes later, I got a DM. "Hi, Mama," it read. "Thanks for accepting. Your little girl is so beautiful." A chill flickered up my spine. My account was private. This person had been able to see my grid as soon as I accepted them, sure, but the speed with which they sent that message, the wording, made something inside me recoil. I typed a careful reply. "Thank you. Do we know each other from somewhere?" They responded immediately. "I see you at pickup sometimes," they wrote. "Our kids go to the same school." I stared at the bubble on the screen. "Which class is your child in?" I asked. Their reply took a little longer this time. "First grade," they said. "Mrs. Sorry, I forget the last name. We just call her Mrs. K." That was plausible. The first grade teachers did both have last names, starting with K. I hovered over the message field, trying to decide what level of politeness versus suspicion was appropriate. Before I could answer, another message came in. "Love this one," they wrote, and attached a screenshot of one of my older posts. It was Lily at the park last year, autumn leaves sticking in her hair, cheeks wind-chapped. I had taken it from behind, her face turned away. The person had added a little heart sticker on her head. The timestamp said I had posted that photo 11 months ago. Something about them scrolling that far down my feed in the space of a minute made my skin itch. I answered with a bland smiley face and put my phone down. That night, I could not shake the feeling of being observed. Not in the cinematic, someone at the window way, but in the subtler way you feel when someone is reading your words over your shoulder. The next morning, I woke up to another DM. It was a picture. For a second, half conscious, I thought it was a repost of something I had shared before. Lily in her blue jacket, lunchbox in hand, standing at the corner near the stop sign where the school bus picked her up. Then I realized I had not taken it. The angle was wrong. It was across the street somewhere, slightly elevated, maybe from a second-story window. Lily's face was turned in profile, watching for the bus. The timestamp sticker in the corner said 7:43 a.m. It was 7:46. My heart slammed against my ribs. I threw on my robe and ran to the window. The bus stop was visible from our kitchen. Lily stood there, bouncing a little, talking to Jake from next door. No one else was around. No cars idling with a good view. No other parents on their phones. I checked the DM again. No caption, no explanation, just the photo. I typed, fingers tight and clumsy. "Did you take this?" The response was nearly instantaneous. Just capturing the little moments, they wrote. "She is so cute with her backpack." My skin crawled. "How did you get this angle?" I sent back. "Where are you standing?" The typing bubble blinked on and off. Finally, a message. "Close by," they replied. "We are neighbors, in a way, right, since we share the same streets." Something about the wording made me imagine a face pressed against a gap in the blinds. I blocked them. Immediately. No second guessing this time. Then I screenshotted everything and called the school, voice shaking, to tell them I believed someone might be photographing students at the bus stop. The secretary transferred me to the principal, who listened, concerned, and promised to alert staff and keep an eye out. I wanted to yank Lily off the bus forever and drive her myself. But my job did not allow for a 2-hour commute window, and I could not justify making her late because of a stranger with creepy boundaries. Maybe, I told myself, it was just another mom with poor social skills. Someone who thought sending that picture was a sweet gesture, not realizing how invasive it felt. That rationalization lasted until lunch. At 12:09, another DM came in. Even though I had blocked them, the app tagged it as coming from unknown user. No handle, no profile picture icon. It was another photo. This time, it was Lily in the school cafeteria. She was sitting at a table with a few other kids, her lunchbox open, her hair falling into her face as she laughed at something. The camera angle was slightly above, as if taken from the corner of the room. The fluorescent lights reflected off the polished floor in long strips. In the very edge of the frame, blurred, I could see the side of a teacher's body. I had never been inside the cafeteria. Parents were not usually allowed past the front office. My hands went cold. "How did you send this?" "I blocked you," I typed, more to myself than to them. There was no typing bubble this time, just another image, almost instantly. It was my own front porch. Empty. The welcome mat, slightly askew, a package from 2 days ago, still sitting on the chair where I had moved it. From the angle, the photo was taken from the yard across the street. Underneath, a line of text. "Blocks do not work in real life." I called the police. They sent an officer who took my statement, asked if I had any exes with a history of stalking, any disputes with neighbors. I showed him the photos. He nodded grimly, said they would increase patrols near the school and my house, told me to keep my doors locked. When he left, the house felt too quiet. I installed a video doorbell that afternoon, the fastest one I could get delivered. I positioned an old baby monitor camera in Lily's room, another in the living room. It felt like surrounding myself with tiny digital eyes, but I told myself that at least they were mine. No more DMs came that day, or the next. For 48 hours, I existed in a state of high, brittle alertness, jumping at every car door outside, checking the doorbell feed every few minutes, watching the grainy grayscale footage of my own living room like it was a security job. On Friday night, my sister came over with pizza to keep me company. We watched a movie while Lily fell asleep on the couch, curly head in my lap. "Maybe it is over," my sister said cautiously. "Creeps get bored sometimes." My phone buzzed. I knew, before I looked, that it was not a spam call or a work email. The notification banner said, "One new story from unknown." I opened the app. At the top of the screen, where the circles of friends stories usually sat, there was an extra one on the far left. No username, no icon, just a gray circle. My heart thudded in my throat. I tapped it. The story was a 10-second video, shaky, as if filmed from a pocket or through fabric. The picture was dark, but I could make out lockers on either side. the institutional beige of a school hallway. At the far end of the hall, a classroom door stood open. A sign beside it read, blurred but legible, 1B, Lily's class. Over the video, a child's voice giggled, not Lily's. Then a whisper, close to the microphone. Smile. The story cut off. My sister's face had gone pale. That did not come from one of your contacts. No, I said. Another story popped up, automatically playing. This one was a still image. My kitchen, as if seen through the window above the sink. The room was empty. The light over the stove, the only illumination. On the table, next to Lily's art supplies, someone had placed a small, cheap plastic toy. The kind you win from a vending machine. A tiny blue horse. We did not own any blue horse toys. Call the police again, my sister whispered. I am, I said, grabbing the phone. Before I could dial, another story started. My thumb hovered over the screen and froze. It was a photo of Lily asleep on the couch, right now. The angle was from the hallway, just behind us. I could see the back of my own head in the lower corner, the faint glow of the TV on my face. In the photo, Lily's eyes were half open in that eerie way kids sometimes sleep, pupils rolled back. My skin crawled. I turned my head slowly toward the hallway. It was empty. Nothing there but the nightlight's yellow halo. Do not move, my sister breathed. I called 911, voice shaking, explaining between gasps that someone was in the house. Someone had to be in the house. The operator told us to get out if we could. We grabbed Lily, still half asleep, one of her shoes falling off in the scramble. We ran to the front door, my sister fumbling with the lock. I glanced, just once, at the video doorbell feed on my phone. For a split second, before the live view loaded, it showed a still image. A man shape, standing on the porch, leaning very close to the lens, features blurred by proximity. Then it glitched and refreshed to an empty front step. We waited outside under the street lamp, shivering, until the police arrived. They searched the house. Attic, basement, closets, underbeds. No one. No signs of forced entry. Every window locked from the inside. The back door still bolted. But on the kitchen table, exactly where the story had shown it, sat a tiny blue plastic horse. They collected it as evidence, gloved hands dropping it into a bag. It looked absurdly small and harmless. The next week was a blur of safety meetings, school alerts, concerned teachers. The district sent out an email to all parents about reports of suspicious activity and encouraged vigilance. My social media stayed quiet, my account locked. No new DMs, no more unknown stories appearing like phantom broadcasts. I started to hope it was over. Then, one Sunday morning, while Lily was watching cartoons and I was cleaning up cereal bowls, my phone buzzed with a push notification I had never seen before. Someone you may know is live now. At Sunny, Daily, Moments. The handle made my stomach twist. I had blocked them, reported them. There should have been no reason for the app to suggest they're live to me. My finger hovered, then, against all better judgment, I tapped. The live opened to a dim room. The camera was low, near the floor, peeking through what looked like a crack between two surfaces. For a terrifying second, I thought I was looking at my own living room again, some vantage point I had not noticed. Then I saw the edge of a floral couch I did not own. An unfamiliar rug, not my house. Children's toys lay scattered on the floor. A doll, a plastic truck, a book half open. The chat was empty. The viewer count hovered at 1. Me. A voice whispered off camera. Look up. Slowly, from the bottom of the frame, a child's head rose into view. She was maybe 4 or 5, cheeks round, hair in 2 braids. Not Lily. Someone else's child altogether. Her eyes flicked toward the crack the camera was peering through, as if she sensed something there. Smile, the whisper said. The girl smiled uncertainly. The video stuttered, then zoomed in on her face. My heart stopped. Her eyes, for a split second, were not her own. The irises went a flat, dead gray, like static on an old TV. Her smile widened mechanically, too far, as if pulled. Then the image snapped back. Normal child. Normal room. Text appeared over the video, typed by the account owner, just capturing the little moments. My stomach turned. I closed the stream, hands shaking so hard I almost dropped the phone. On my own profile, a small red dot appeared next to my story icon. I had not posted anything. Against my will, I tapped it. The story was a picture of my account page. Profile photo, grade of my family photos, follower count modest, private label under my name. Overlaid on it was a countdown sticker. Account going public in 23 hours, 59 minutes and 54 seconds. The timer ticked down every second. I tried to delete it. Error. The app flashed. Something went wrong. Please try again. I tried again. Same error. I logged out, logged back in. The story remained ticking away. I called the platform support line, sent frantic emails, screenshots. Automated replies trickled back. None of them useful. The countdown kept going. I watched it for an hour, mind racing, imagining those photos of Lily exposed to the whole world. Searchable, shareable, downloadable. I thought of that child on the live, smiling at an invisible whisper. At 23 hours, 2 minutes and 17 seconds remaining, I made a decision. I went into my settings and hit delete account. The app asked if I was sure. I confirmed. A pop-up informed me that my data would be scheduled for deletion in 30 days, that my profile would be deactivated in the meantime. My story icon vanished. Relief washed over me. 5 minutes later, my phone buzzed. No app, just a text message. Unknown number. It contained a single link. It led to a freshly made public profile on another platform. Same handle as my old one, same photos of Lily, same captions. The follower count was climbing in real time. Dozens of likes ticked upward every second. At the top of the feed sat a new post. It was that same photo from the very first DM. Lily at the bus stop, lunchbox in hand, hair escaping her braid. The caption read, "Cannot keep her to myself anymore, world, say hi." The comments were already pouring in. So cute, adorable. Where did you get her jacket? It felt like watching strangers touch her hair in a crowded mall. I reported. I flagged. I filled out forms. An automated response thanked me for helping keep the community safe. The account stayed up. I changed our routines. No more bus. I drove her myself. Waited until she was inside the building. I quit posting anything, anywhere. Old photos gone. Tagged pictures untagged. My online presence shrank to almost nothing. And still, sometimes, my phone vibrates with a notification I cannot trace. Unknown mentioned you in their story. I never opened them anymore. But once, when Lily was sitting at the kitchen table coloring, humming to herself, she looked up suddenly and smiled at a point just over my shoulder. "What is it, honey?" I asked, trying to keep my voice calm. "Nothing," she said. "I just heard someone say my name." "From where?" I asked. She tapped her tablet, closed on the table. "From there," she said, as if it were the most obvious thing in the world. "From the little box where the pictures live." I picked it up, hands shaking. The screen was dark. But for a second, as it woke under my touch, I thought I saw our reflection flicker. And behind us, in the kitchen window, the faint suggestion of a figure, phone raised, capturing the little moments we never meant to share. You've reached the end of tonight's descent into the quiet places where your phone's glow is not the only thing watching you. If any moment stayed with you, if a line replayed in your thoughts, if you found yourself checking your notifications a little more carefully than before, don't let the story fade here. Subscribe to join me for more digital nightmares, distorted realities, and the stories that slip through the cracks of the world we think we understand. Tell me in the comments, which encounter left you uneasy, and which one felt a little too familiar. Like the video so these stories find others who walk the same dark corners we do. And if you have a true experience, a stalker, a glitch, a message you should not have received, a moment online that still keeps you up at night, you are always welcome to share it. Send your story to the business email in the channel bio, and it may become part of a future Entity Shadows episode. Thank you for listening, for staying with me through the static, the silence, and the darkness behind the screen. And until next time, keep your phone face down, keep your doors locked, and remember, the watchers are always closer than you think, and remember, the dark awaits.